If I open this up, I have my whole closet. I was medical for 8 years. When I was in the Navy, I bought an 18-foot travel trailer for $8,000. And whenever I'm driving, all of this just gets put on the floor. Hi everybody, my name's Valerie, and this is my truck camper that I live out of full time, and it's also a work vehicle. This is my kitchen area. I have a 2-burner stove that runs off of propane. I also have a sink, and it's a 20-gallon water tank, which is plenty for me to last me through the week. I added a soap dispenser just because anything that I don't have to put away while I'm driving is ideal. So I added that on there. This is my fridge. It's an 85-liter fridge, which is about twice the amount of space that I had in my last rig. And I'm trying to decorate it with little doodads that I've gotten from traveling. Anytime somebody gives me a sticker, I try to collect it as just like a little memory. And in this drawer right here, I keep my 100s, which is something that I'm going to use every day. So I've got avocado oil in there, I've got salt and pepper, I've also got face wash. It's just like a big mix of things that I'm going to use almost every single day. And then in this drawer, I have my toothbrush, toothpaste, silverware, knives, random things that I'm not going to show you because it's cluttered. This whole truck pops up. So from this area right here, whenever I'm driving, it's closed down. So I'm kind of like this. But I do pop it up, and I have my windows right here. I'll show this to you. So I have one section. I have them open right now because it's warm. But if I wanted to, I could just have a window, and then I could also close it from there. And then this gray layer is actually what they call a thermal pack. And it's perfect for winters and summers to kind of help keep the camper cool. But it's a little bit warm in here, so we're gonna leave her open. Opening this thing has been a bit of a challenge because I have solar panels on top, so it's a little bit heavier. But there's 2 areas that I actually pop this camper up on. So I pop up the back area right here, and I pop up the front. My whole bed is totally inaccessible whenever I'm driving, so any of my storage underneath I can't get to. I've got 2 fans, which is really nice. I actually use the fans to help pop down the camper because it suctions out the air and it helps kind of release it down, which is really cool. I also leave the door open because it creates like a suction. And I didn't know that the first time that I had this camper, and I had my door closed, and I was struggling for like 10 minutes trying to open up this camper. But now I've learned the hacks of being a truck camper girl. This is my dinette area. I have a table that I actually covered with a cushion because I didn't like the color and I wanted it to be green. This also drops down into an extra bed if I were to have a friend come by. This pretty much is going to sit on these black struts right here, and then these cushions drop down, so it's a nice little bed space. I have storage underneath these 2 cushions, so that's my main storage areas. So on this side I keep all of my work supplies, so I carry a bunch of batteries and power boxes, banners, stuff like that for our company. So all of that is in this one. And then I have my camera equipment, my pantry, snacks, and then underneath I've really just been keeping the things that I want to access all the time right down here. So a lot of my beauty stuff, I just put it right here because I can just grab it and go. Helps me do my skincare a little bit easier. I keep Diesel's food down here. I keep my vacuum cleaner right here because it's very sandy here on the beach in Mexico. So I've been using that every single day. I have my seasonings right here because I use those almost every day when I cook. And I also have my art supplies and a hammock back here. I really like to paint, so I try to keep that front and center, partially as decor because I just like the artist touch, but also because I use it pretty much all the time. I've been feeling really inspired down here. So one of the paintings on there I actually painted of one of the beaches that we were at. This right here is actually the part that folds down whenever I'm packing up my camper. So I have a little button up there, and I take this, unplug it, and then this whole thing drops down, and then that is what is going to close my camper. Whenever I do drop it down, there's a latch up here, and that's what I latch into there to keep everything pretty much locked and flushed. And then whenever I'm driving, all of this just gets put on the floor because otherwise it'll fly all over the place whenever I hit one of these speed bumps. I was in the military for 8 years. I was in the Navy, I was a corpsman, and I was starting to feel really burnt out. And all I've ever wanted to do is travel. It just has always been in my heart and soul that I just wanted to go and see other places. And I was actually going through a divorce around the same time that I decided to get out of the military. So both of those happened within about 2 months of each other. So I got divorced, I got out of the military, and I bought an 18-foot travel trailer for $8,000, and I took my dog and we started traveling all across the country. And I really discovered the healing benefits of nature. My time in the military was very exhausting for me, and I feel like bringing myself back into nature and centering myself has healed me very much so. This is my bed space. It's a queen size bed, which is pretty big for me. I was used to living in a twin before this, so it's a ton of space, but it actually pulls out into a king if I wanted to. And I got extra cushions, but when I was showing this truck to my work, I actually asked if they would keep the cushions because I don't need a king size bed and it's just me and Diesel. So we keep it as a queen, and my favorite feature about this is actually the hidden storage space underneath. So if I open this up, I have my whole closet and I have everything lined up and organized for the summer months now because we're in Mexico and it's warm. So I just switched out all of my cold weather gear for some warm weather stuff. All of this is pretty much organized from bottoms and long sleeves to my bikinis and cover-ups, tank tops. I have a lot of overalls for some reason. So I have like 8 pairs of overalls over here, and then I have all of my shorts, dresses, stuff like that over on this side. And then I have 2 little skinny cubbies that just have like random electronics that I haven't figured out where to put. Underneath here is where all of my electrical systems are. So I have pretty much all of my panels, everything that I need in case something were to go wrong, if I need to do any fixes, all of that's accessible right there. I also keep some bags full of just random wires and charging cords, anything extra that I need that I might need to access. My little treat bag for Diesel whenever we're going on our walks. Up top, I have my disco ball, but I never forget to put it away because this is actually a part of the system for kind of closing down this camper, dropping down the top, we'll say that. So I basically just unpop this and I pull this forward, and this bar will go all the way to right here where the disco ball is at, and then I click this in and it locks. So that's how it sits in the down position. So I always remember to take my disco ball off and put it somewhere else because it's right where I need to place this. And I added a couple of fairy lights just to kind of sit above my bed whenever I'm hanging out up there. I like the warm lighting in here, and all of my lights that I have in my camper are kind of that cool tone. So I've been adding my own, like I've got some puck lights here, stuff like that, just to kind of warm up the area. So I want to show you how I get my dog into bed because obviously the bed is very high. So first I have him hop up here. Come on up, baby. Can you hop up? Hop up. Good, good. And then he puts his paws right here. Good job. And then normally he maneuvers himself just a little bit. Good job, baby. Do you hop up? There we go. And then I give him a little boost. And then that's how he gets into bed. Right here, I actually have my toilet underneath, so it's nice and covered, so nobody actually has to look at my toilet. I have a cassette toilet in here, so everything pretty much goes into what I call a poop case, which is like a suitcase that carries your poop. And on the outside, there's an opening, so I can slide that out. I take it to a dump station, dump it, and then put it back in. So it's a great setup for me. I'm a little bit spoiled with a toilet, I know, but I like it. It's a necessity for me, in my opinion, and the Cassette is super easy to work with. And then right here, I just have a couple of my extra things. I have my business cards that I keep for Dakota Lithium right here, just because I'm always getting stopped and asked about the truck. So it has a discount code, so I just pass it out whenever. I also have my stickers here, so I just keep that easily accessible for anybody that asks about the truck. I also have some more of my art supplies, a bunch of paints, a couple of my paintings here. This is my battery setup. I have it covered right now because it's all behind plexiglass for any of our overlanding camping shows, anything that we go to where I'm showing off the rig. I want to make sure that I'm protecting the plexiglass here. So right here I have 3 135 amp hour batteries that are in parallel, and that runs all of my electrical systems. So my fridge, my lights, my furnace, my fan, stuff like that. And then I also have another battery that's a 280 amp hour battery that runs my inverter. Because I work for Dakota Lithium, these are our batteries in here. We had to show off with a bigger energy setup. The cool thing about this rig is that I can go a very, very long time without ever having to recharge, partially because of all of the amp hours in here, but I also have solar, which is keeping my batteries recharged. So I have 320 watts of solar. I also charge off of my alternator. So since I've been down here in Mexico, I've gone 3 weeks and 3 days without having to recharge, which is a very long time for a rig, especially considering my last rig, I was having to recharge like every single day. Now let's take a look at my 280 amp hour battery. This is my 280 amp hour battery. This is what is powering my inverter. My inverter is really awesome because it allows me to use my outlets right here. So I've been charging my phone all day, every day. I have my Starlink right here. So I've pretty much been keeping that on all the time. I don't really have to conserve power because I'm getting so much back with the sunlight off of my solar panels. So this has been really awesome because whenever it's cold, I'm able to use my heating pads. I have a heating pad that I use. I used a heated blanket and I just plugged it into my outlet. So I've been a little bit spoiled with the inverter, but like I said, Dakota wants to show off the systems. We want to have as much power in here as possible to really show people what our batteries can do. So this is perfect for me. I was actually living off of savings when I had my travel trailer, and I knew that I needed a job. I was trying to make way on social media, see if I could get, you know, some money through that. Wasn't very successful. And I ended up looking up overland jobs, and I found this job with Dakota Lithium. So I am the sales, marketing, and event coordinator for Dakota Lithium. Basically, my role in this truck is to drive it to different trade shows, overland expos, camping expos, any outdoor shows like that, have the rig there with the batteries on display to kind of show off the capabilities. So I am going to be traveling to different trade shows all across the country, and then the rest of the time, this is my house. So the camper that I have is a 4-wheel campers, and it's a Granby model. The Granby model is a flatbed, so it has all of these storage lockers on the outside, which I love because I can have all of my tools, recovery equipment, medical gear, anything that I need that I don't necessarily want to store inside, I can have it on the outside. I have it all right there. So I've got my toolkits in this one. I have my drills, some of my oil change equipment, tow straps, stuff like that. This is where my gas goes. This releases any extra water if I have to drain my water tank for the winter, but I don't want to be anywhere where I have to drain my water tank or worry about my water freezing, which is why I'm in Mexico in the winter time. So this is where I refill my water. So I have my plugins right here. This is for my gray water. It goes all the way down. We're hiding the gray water tank because it's ugly, but I do have all of my gray water being captured into a tank underneath here. All of this is just kind of the backhand part of my electrical systems, my furnace, fridge, stuff like that. This right here is for my outdoor shower, and it opens up right here. I just plug a little cord in here, and then I use it as much as I can when I can. it's a tough system. But I also have a shower inside too that sits right where my dinette table is. And it's just a little bit complicated for me trying to figure out the logistics of hanging the shower curtain and showering inside. So I've been sticking with the outdoor one. So I actually might hit that up today because it's been a minute since I showered out here. So this storage locker, I have all of my medical equipment. Actually, I was medical for 8 years when I was in the Navy. So I kept a lot of my med supplies, quick clot, anything like that, just in case anyone needs some help. And I always leave this one unlocked just for easy access. And then if you want, I can show you the storage on the other side. Okay, so this is the other side of my truck. I do keep some storage back here, but it's mainly batteries and it's also cluttered, so I'm not gonna show it to you. Over on this side, I have a jump starter, an extra gas can, everything that I need to change my oil or change a tire if something were to happen out here. I also have another water tank that's 20 gallons that comes with the flatbed portion of the truck. So I've been using this just to refill Diesel's water bowl, rinse off my feet because they've been super sandy out here. Over here is where my propane tanks are. And this is what I was talking about, that poop case inside. I open that up. This is the poop case. Of course, I have gloves front and center for whenever I need to empty that. And moving on to this side, I have one more storage locker, and that holds my shower supplies. So that connects over to that other side. And then I have two ways to get into my camper. I have my fold out stairs, and then I also have this, which I actually got stuck in here, so I can't really get it out. But it's fine because it doesn't make a difference if it's sitting there or not. Don't buy into everyone's fancy rigs thinking that you need all of this stuff. If you want to do this, if you want to get out and travel, pack up your car for a weekend, grab the essentials, water, you're gonna figure stuff out. Don't focus so much on what all of the influencers have and their fancy equipment. Granted, it's great, and I have some things in here that I really love, but you don't have to have it. And if this is something that you wanna do, just start off slow. You know, take a weekend, go out, see what you like, live out of your car for a little bit. There's nothing stopping you. Take it in increments, figure out what works for you, and then go from there. Thank you guys so much for checking out my truck. If you want to follow along with my adventures, my Instagram is The Happy Camper Girl, and it's Val and Diesel, this guy right here, who's my partner in crime. And I hope to see you out on the road.